Hi, besties. Did you miss me? Because I missed you. I took a couple of months off from posting to move into an apartment and to just try to stop being insane. And I did one of those things, and I'll let you guess which one. The couple of months that I haven't been posting, not like I was a prolific and punctual poster before, but in the couple of months since I have been posting, my close personal friend, QuirkyLoveRosee, has been just being so interesting. Ooh, my nail lady texted me. But Rosie has just been being so interesting in a myriad of ways. And like I said, I really only watch her through reactors. I don't have the time in my day to watch somebody stream for 4 hours. Somebody could be streaming them curing cancer for 4 hours, and I would not watch it. I don't think I would watch somebody just streaming in a lab. Like, that doesn't sound particularly up my alley. But then, like, I don't know. Like, I would just get the Cliff Notes. 4 hours? 4 hours? Somebody told me recently that the Odyssey is like 2.5 hours long. I'm not going to see that. I'm not going to see that. I know what happens in the Odyssey. I read it in the 9th grade, as did every other 9th grader in Florida. I don't need to pay Christopher Nolan to go see it in 70mm IMAX. And the gag is, the 70mm projector is broken anyways at my local theater. Anyways, I've been watching Rosie diligently, primarily through Zachary Michael and Charlie Gold. But now I've been getting a little bit into Pulpy Syntax, and oh lordy, it's Jordy has also been watching Rosie. But too much of my YouTube algorithm is GorlWorld, and a loved one the other day was watching me scroll through my YouTube algorithm, and he said, it's too many obese women, and I went, you're right. So I am trying to pare down my GorlWorld consumption. I want to find like 2 or 3 favorite reactors and watch them. And then I want to go back to using YouTube what it's for, which is watching that guy in the Philippines feed all of his ants. If you have never watched Ants Canada, I know I just said he was in the Philippines. He is. His name is still Ants Canada. I don't know what's going on with him lately. Truly deeply fascinating content. It's not even just ants anymore. He has like a whole zoo. He has a real menagerie going on, and oh my god, can't recommend it enough. Go and watch yourself some Ants Canada sometime. Live deliciously. And as I have been watching Rosie's videos, I have developed a real concern. Genuinely, I have developed a concern. It is known to the GorlWorld community and to Rosie's viewers that she's going to reverse her type 2 diabetes. Insert clip.
Only support they have is from bitter, horny dudes. The only support they have is from the bitter, horny dudes. Yeah, call me unstable all you want, bitch. I'ma keep kicking as I reverse my diabetes. Keep stuffing on camera then. Fuck y'all.
But, I mean, has she done so? If you've watched my previous Rosie video, then you're aware that the answer is no. Probably not. One, because type 2 diabetes is a chronic and lifelong condition that cannot be reversed or cured. It can only be managed into remission. You will always have type 2 diabetes. If your diabetes is in remission and you stop doing the things you need to do to manage it, it will come back. You know, once a person has type 2 diabetes, they will need to actively manage it for the rest of their lives in order to prevent it from progressing. Type 2 diabetes is a chronic condition. It's a lifelong condition. It's not going away. It's not like a cancer, which can be treated into going away through surgery or a medication regimen. It will be there with you always. Like that thing. That tune thing that I hate. I don't like that thing, that Italian brain rot thing. I don't care for him. Anyways, I've been watching Rosie's content over the summer, again, admittedly through reactors, so I don't necessarily always get the full context. But she does exhibit a lot of behaviors and symptoms that are associated with type 2 diabetes. And I mean, that's, you know, I have ADHD diagnosed. I also exhibit a lot of behaviors and symptoms of ADHD. Rosie has type 2 diabetes diagnosed. She openly discusses the fact that she has type 2 diabetes. I don't feel like I'm being weird or sitting here speculating on her health when I say that she exhibits behaviors and patterns that are associated with a condition that she herself has openly proclaimed to have. But it's interesting to me. My whole thing with the girls, or one of my whole things with the girls, is like, yes, they're quite overweight. And I know I've said before that like the most interesting thing about Amber Lynn is not that she's overweight. And that's true, in my opinion. That's like pretty low on the list of interesting things. But with the girls, it is interesting to see how chronic obesity, lifelong obesity, does impact the body and the well-being and the life of the person who is living with it. And Rosie's a really good example of that. And I'm going to get more into it. But basically, I like to talk about Rosie because she interests me. I'm interested in what she has going on. Because I don't think we get very many, like, super public sort of case studies on what it's like to be extremely morbidly obese for your entire life and what that does to a person holistically, what it does to them overall, not just to their body. And so that's why I'm like really honed in on Rosie. And then Amber Lynn is boring right now, which, like, she's on her health journey. I truly do wish her nothing but success. If any of the girls want to go on a health journey and lose weight, I wish them nothing but success. But it's just not as interesting as Rosie having her boyfriend come to visit. You know, I mean, I can watch Amber Lynn eat a laughing cow cheese on what is it? She puts them onto chocolate. Yeah, she does. She puts them onto chocolate rice crackers. And I gotta admit, I would try a bite of it. I wouldn't like it, probably. Well, I mean, I'd be open to trying a bite of it. I love a salty sweet. So, I'm open to the idea. But it does not sound very good. But anyways, I can only watch Amberlyn Reed put a laughing cow wedge onto a chocolate rice cracker so many times before I'm like, okay, girl, I get it. You're doing food crimes. Rosie's bringing me something brand new every fucking day, you know? God bless her. So, I mean, Rosie's doing a lot of stuff that's associated with type 2 diabetes. And it's you know, especially I think these are kind of lesser known type 2 diabetes symptoms. I think a lot of people don't know what to look out for when it comes to type 2 diabetes. And I think every American should know what the symptoms and signs of type 2 diabetes are, because we are all at risk of it, pretty much. I mean, when you look at our lifestyles as a culture. Let's get back to Rosalind. Is that her name, Rosalind? That's what I call her in my mind. Rosie, I know, is short for something. And people online call her Roz. So I wonder if it is Rosalind. I like that name, Rosalind. So, the first one, excessive thirst.
I mean, Rem's note on the fridge is cute, yeah. He's a cutie. Okay, so what I've learned is that these powders don't dissolve great in the willies. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this to dissolve the powder in and then add the rest of the water in there. You know what? This feels so fun. It's so fresh. Okay. The love and care you have for each other is so palpable. Thank you, Bookworm. Yeah. A little more water. A little more water.
According to Rosie, she is drinking water like you would not believe. Rosie has a dedicated knockoff Stanley tumbler for just plain water.
You know something? This is my dedicated water cup. Nothing in this but water goes in here. To be fair, today I've been slacking on this. I haven't even finished one of these today. But yeah, I've never had plain water in my life. Yeah.
So that's about 40 ounces of water right there. And she says that she keeps that MFer topped off. So pretty consistently, she's drinking a couple of knockoff Stanleys full of water. Here's my real Stanley. I mean, you gotta drink. See, you see the brand? It's real. You gotta drink water. You gotta drink water, plain water, every day. It's really good for you. So the fact that she is apparently keeping her knockoff Stanley on deck with the water, plain water in it, good for you, girl. Cheers, even. I don't want to make y'all listen to me drink water, because I would hate that if I were you. Rosie also does drink a lot of water with additives, like the flavor packets in them.
I need to do something with this. Yeah. Okay. We're going to make a mystery potion. I'm just going to add water and add something to this and go with the vibes. It's just going to be mystery fruit. Sometimes I'm cool with that. Sometimes I'm just like, I just want flavored water and I want it to be fruity. Well, I'm going to like it, so I'll drink 20 packets. That's my only option is 20 packets. Okay. I'll get this the next time. It might be a minute before I order them, to be fair, because I've got quite a collection right now. But I don't want to forget. Added. Sick. Should do a tier list of water enhancers. I need to sample more first. I want a wide variety of like brands and opinions before I like do a whole breakdown. That would be a fun live. I just like write up a little something and just like, okay, let's talk. Water enhancers. Here's the ones I have on hand. Here's the ones I haven't tried, or that I've tried and have an opinion on. Cause I fucking love me some flavored water, dude.
She hasn't gotten into the syrups yet, but I know she will get into the syrups. I was watching a thingy from her the other day, and she said that she wanted to have a whole water station. That's going to include the syrups, undoubtedly. If she can just, that is not polite, what I was just about to say. If she can just get herself over to, where do I get mine? TJ Maxx. If she can just get herself over to TJ Maxx or Ross, Dress for Less. Despite being a clothes store, Ross has a lot of coffee flavoring syrups, as does TJ Maxx and Marshalls, and not really Home Goods as much, but TJ Maxx and Marshalls, absolutely. And they have those like Torani sugar-free syrups. I buy them for my coffee. I buy them with the sugar in them because sugar substitutes make me ill. But if she can just get over there, yeah, she's in big business.
You should join Water Talk. I'll consider it.
So not only is she drinking a lot of plain water, she's drinking a lot of water with additives, flavorings, powders.
Have you ever tried plain water? What a jackass.
And people say that it's not water once you put the powder in there anymore, but it is. It is still ultimately water. I mean, if you're the kind of person who never drinks water and you're always drinking orange juice or whatever, first of all, I know you got acid reflux like crazy. Second of all, you are still hydrating. I just don't, I don't know. I don't think it looks like they taste good, but also I'm saying that as someone who looks at it and is aware that it has sugar alcohols or stevia in it, and I am genuinely allergic to stevia, and I am just really sensitive to sugar alcohols, so I just know that I would not like them, and so that's why I think that they look nasty, but I do think that they look nasty. Anyways, she's drinking water like crazy. Good for her.
And I need to drink water. this cup. I'm not making any specific promises. Okay, I'm gonna do a good amount of ice in here. Yeah, a cat should be taught to stay off the counters, period. Agreed. It's harder when they think they're not being watched to fully enforce it sometimes, but you instill it in them enough, they'll be good. It's good for you to do. I know it's good for, I do these things on my own. I did them on my own while he was here too, just less frequently because he likes to do things for me.
In her pool stream that she did with Remington recently, she had her plain water Stanley knockoff. She had a Dunkin' Refresher water in a separate Stanley knockoff, and that's somehow caffeinated, which I found very interesting, the idea that you could caffeinate your own water at home. And she had a Dr. Pepper Zero. So that's what, 92 ounces of liquid, 40, 40, and then 12. A can is 12 ounces, is it not? That's crazy. That's a lot of liquid to drink in a short amount of time.
He made a, I think this is a mango peach lemonade Dunkin' Refresher, because I need some caffeine up in this bitch. So, oh, hello. This is not a brewmate. This is my water brewmate. Hello. And
she has 2 different drinks. She has 2 tumblers full of soda.
Then I also have a third drink. I went live a few minutes.
And I'm no stranger to having a fun drink and a water sitting in front of you. I have a fun drink, a martini, and a water in front of me as we speak. Y'all just saw my water. My martini's over there. I drained it, but I had it. But Rosie she had 2 fun drinks. Her second knockoff Stanley of Dunkin' Refresher, I would call that fun drink. And again, about 100 ounces of liquid. That's a lot of liquid. And that particular stream, she never pauses to pee, which, I mean, she was in the pool. She peed in the pool, which is fine. Everybody's done it. It's not that big of a deal. But she is regularly streaming for hours, also not in the pool. And she doesn't really pause those streams to pee either, from what I can tell. She did like a 5.5 hour stream the other day. As I am aware, at least, she did not pause that stream to pee. Well, you're supposed to pee a minimum of 4 times a day. If you're peeing twice a day, you got to step it up and you got to pee more. But you're supposed to pee at least 4 times a day. It's not really considered very good for you to wake up to pee in the middle of the night. I don't have a source for that, except that when I worked at a senior center, we had a urologist come and speak, a geriatric urology expert come and speak to the people who attended the senior center, and that's what she said. And so I believe her. So if someone is awake for 16 hours a day, right? That's like considered the normal amount of time to be awake, give or take. And they're streaming for greater than 4 hours. You should pee at least once, don't you think? And it's not from necessarily any specific source. That's all just conjecture. This is not going to be as researched as my other videos where I'm like fully going through like some public health stuff, because that does not feel super appropriate in this context. So this is not like the most researched video. This is kind of just me chatting my shit, talking about my opinion as a viewer. It does a little bit kill me when I'm like doing GorlWorld, like viewing GorlWorld stuff, or like scrolling, lurking on a subreddit to see people just like dead ass not know stuff when it comes to like health, and like understand that the girls are spreading health misinformation but not understanding why, which is why I decided to start making videos. I mean, I'm just not, this particular video, I'm not willing to throw my MPH behind it. I'll put it like that. So Rosie's drinking a lot of water. She is, in my opinion, as a lay person, because again, I'm not a medical professional, I'm a public health professional, there is a difference. She is, in my opinion, as a lay person, excessively thirsty. She is drinking more liquid in a few hours than I have ever seen another human being consume with my eyes. 100 ounces in a couple of hours is crazy. And if I'm remembering right, she did drain all 3 of those drinks, which, like, oh my God, girl boss, that's a lot of liquid. Does your stomach not hurt? Does your stomach not hurt? Because I think if I drank 100 ounces of something in a couple of hours, my stomach would hurt. So there's my anecdotal, non-professional opinion about her water consumption. Now, not only is Rosie excessively thirsty, but she's also got quite the sweet tooth. Before you say what I think you're going to say, I know about, we don't have to point things out that are obvious. I'm not going to get into all of that. Let's just leave it at I know. But I've been watching Rosie, and I've been watching Rosie content for a little while now, and I personally think she's got more of a hankering for sugar than she really used to have. I'm really a, what they call a you must have needed it kind of person. I do really believe that if you have a very intense craving for food, it's because your body knows what you need and is trying to get you to get it. I don't think that you should necessarily indulge your every craving, considering that some people's bodies get their wires crossed and then try and get them to eat dirt. But I do think that if you're craving a big bloody steak, then you should eat it because you probably need the iron. I don't know if you all have ever heard about those people who they get shipwrecked, or they're adrift in the ocean or whatever, and they're catching fish, and then they have these overwhelming compulsion to eat the fish's eyes, and it turns out that the fish eye is a really excellent source of vitamin C or something that your body truly really needs, but something that most Americans at least would be I'm not fucking eating that. So it is a thing. I believe in indulging it to a point, but you can't go crazy with it because my body tries to tell me every single day that I need several pickles and a Reese's Fast Break bar. And I do eat the pickles, but I can't have a Fast Break bar every day, even though I would like to so much. I think Rosie is craving sweet flavors with everything because of her diabetes. Craving carbohydrates is linked with unmanaged or poorly managed type 2 diabetes, and a higher A1C is associated with higher carbohydrate cravings. So basically, these people did this study, and this was in Dubai, but the human body does function pretty well across cultures, pretty well the same across cultures and oceans and borders. There we go. So I don't think the fact that it's in Dubai is a reason to discount this study. But essentially all of these researchers gave blood tests to a bunch of people with type 2 diabetes, and then they also administered surveys about food cravings. The people who had higher A1Cs at a baseline reported a more intense craving for carbohydrates and more frequent craving for carbohydrates than people with lower A1Cs. Sugar is the most readily available form of carbohydrate found in foods. Yeah, if your body wants carbohydrates, your body wants something that's metabolized easily and quickly. It wants sugar. And Roz has been getting a little crazy with the sugar and these sweet foods. She has put a lot of sugar into some odd things, in my opinion. She put a lot of sugar into her tomato sauce the other day, which I know is a thing that people do, but I think that it's weird and gross, and so I'm mentioning it as being weird and gross because this is my channel.
Oh, I forgot to add the sugar to the sauce. Hold on. So yeah, I was saying this earlier in the live, but Gans, even if you decide I'm not your vibe, I appreciate it when you give me a chance. Truly. I appreciate it when people take into account and realize that a lot of stuff is warped and distorted, and the stuff that I did fuck up on, I own and apologize on, but I'm not gonna constantly re-harp on every transgression I've ever made, every mistake I've ever made, and try to prove myself over and over, because I'm moving on beyond that, right? And yeah. What are we up to? I'm avoiding responsibilities. I am blah. I am simmering red sauce. Hold on. Ooh, it smells good. Okay, we're just gonna gently stir this up. Do a good scrape at the bottom so there's no burning. Yeah, everyone makes mistakes, absolutely. And, I do have like a salacious wild past, and I'm a very mentally ill person who's made a lot of that very publicly known, and I can't take it back. I'm just trying to do better moving forward, It's really all I can do. And all I know is I'm not the manipulative liar that people paint me as. That's all I know. And the way people weaponize my chronic illnesses and mental health. Actually, I think I didn't put enough sugar, because you didn't see how much I was pouring in, but I put in very little both times.
The thing that really struck me as being indicative of an anomalous, I guess I would say, sugar craving or craving for sweet flavors is that in the stream where Rosie made breakfast sandwiches for herself and Remy the rat, she made breakfast sandwiches that were white bread. They were Texas toast, white bread, egg, mayonnaise, truff sauce, American cheese, and honey. And I will out myself as a weird girl who eats weird food, because I am one. I'll get vulnerable. Who gives a fuck? One time I dipped Oreos into queso from Moe's, the white queso from Moe's, because I was out of milk and I was intoxicated. And it was not as bad as you would think it was. I'll put it like that. I would try it again. I don't know if I'd like it, but I would give it a shot again. So, yeah, I'm a weird girl who eats weird food. And that sounded heinous to me. The white bread, egg, mayonnaise, truff, hot sauce, American cheese, and honey.
God forbid you're just a girl out here living real. So we got toasted Texas toast. Yes, QP mayo, truffle sauce, honey, fried eggs with salt, and one slice of American cheese split between 2 eggs. That's my newest version of my egg sandwich. It used to just be the eggs and honey and buttered toast.
I see a world in which it could be good, right? You have a really good, delicious sourdough toast, like a crispy sourdough toast. You have a nice, sharp cheddar. You don't have any mayonnaise. And maybe you have a garlic aioli, and then you have a hot honey, and you have a fried egg. That could be good. And it's not a sandwich. It's a toast. It's an open-faced toast. I would order that at a restaurant. I think that sounds good. What Rosie created, I think, sounds hideous and really not very good. And I was a little stony baloney while I was scripting all of this out, and it still didn't sound good to me. So, I don't even think that that's an excuse, the fact that she was gone off the willies or whatever. The grape salad from the infamous grape salad of grape salad infamy, is made of grapes. You might not be surprised to learn that. Grapes, which my bariatric surgeon told me not to eat because he told me grapes are little sugar bombs. And then she added additional sugar to the salad. That's a lot of sugar. A 1 cup serving of grapes has 23 grams of sugar and only 1 gram of fibers. Why did I say fibers? It has 23 grams of sugar and 1 gram of fiber. So all of the sugar from the grapes just pretty much goes into the bloodstream immediately. There's not much or any fiber to slow the absorption of that sugar. I'm not a grape hater, although I don't eat them because my bariatric surgeon told me not to. Every once in a while, I will get a little crazy and I'll have 3 grapes from a bag in the freezer, and I'm like, woo. And then other than that, I'm not really eating grapes. A person with type 2 diabetes who needs to be conscious of what spikes their glucose and their blood sugar has better choices than grapes. When it comes to fruits, they have way better choices than grapes. And also, just an aside, I bet that salad would go off if it was made with sour, like Granny Smith sour green apples instead of sweet green grapes. Also, I think it should have been vanilla yogurt instead of sour cream and cream cheese because, like, what are you doing putting sour cream and cream cheese? Also, you know, and this is like the thing is like, I'm a big believer in harm reduction. I know some people clown on Amberlyn Reed because, like, she'll be like, oh, okay, well, you know, normally I order DoorDash and I binge on DoorDash food. But, like, today I cooked at home and I binged on that food, and that's better than ordering DoorDash. And I'm like, yeah, it is better than ordering DoorDash. I come from social work as a background, and I'm a big believer in harm reduction. If you used to smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day and you were able to bring yourself down to smoking a pack and a half, girl, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Because, like, no, is it perfect? No, but we can't expect perfection from somebody who has an addiction, you know? Like, all we can ask is that they do a little bit better. And the thing that kills me about Rosie specifically is, okay, right now Amberlyn Reed is like trying to do a little bit better. Ostensibly, she's like doing some harm reduction for herself. Girl, hell yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. Rosie doesn't really engage in anything that reduces the amount of harm that she does to her body, in my opinion. And I think that that's frustrating because even Rosie could have so easily, if this recipe calls for cream cheese and sour cream, she could have very easily swapped that out for plain non-fat Greek yogurt for the sour cream, and Neufchâtel, which has like a third of the fat content as cream cheese but does retain the same texture and more or less taste the same. Those would be great swaps. She never, that I have ever observed, she never does swaps like that. She's always, except she does drink diet sodies, and I drink full fat sodies. So, you know, pot kettle situation. There are definitely areas where I'm not willing to compromise, and I'm going to eat the less healthy version of the thing. But it just seems to me like she eats, like she's not willing to compromise anywhere. You can't always be indulging all of the time. It's not good for you. Obviously, right? Because, like, look at what's going on with her. So, yeah, the sugar, I wouldn't necessarily say sugar is a new habit, but it's one that I think is, like, increasing or getting worse, or at the very least, I'm noticing it more. I suppose it isn't surprising when a person of Rosie's stature buys 5 bottles of ketchup at the store, but it is alarming to see all of these, like, sugar fiend behaviors in rapid succession.
Because I like the added sweetness.
It is entirely possible that the issue is that Rosie is on a tear and she's posting so much right now, so there isn't time for her eating habits to fall out of my brain and be replaced with something less important, like what's going on with my loved ones and their lives. Even when Rosie does engage in eating a harm reductive food, and in my opinion, these don't really count, even Rosie's harm reductive foods are still very sweet. A lemon Built bar is 14 grams of carbohydrates for no fiber. And a lemon Built bar, all of the Built bars, they use real sugar. They don't use sugar alcohol. They use cane, like they use table sugar. They use cane sugar. And so 14 grams of carbohydrates, real sugar, no fiber. This is going to spike her blood glucose level when she eats it, unless she does go out of her way to eat it with a holistic fiber. But, like, we've seen Rosie mowing down on the Built bars, and we have not seen Rosie eating, what's a whole grain? It's not like she's eating Built bars and she's eating steel cut oats with them. You know what I mean? She's not Built bar in one hand, quinoa in the other hand. Like, there's not any... We're not wrapping the Built Bars in kale. You know what I mean? There's not fiber to go alongside them. So, not really... I mean, if her snack before that would have been like a bag of chips and a candy bar, which is my go-to snack even after losing a bunch of pounds, even after losing like almost 200 pounds, if I stop at the gas station, I get a bag of chips and a candy bar. I get the baked chips now, and I get a little candy bar, but that's still what I get. I get a bag of chips and a candy bar, and I make concessions in the rest of what I eat that day to offset the fact that I just had a bag of chips and a candy bar, and now too, a dirty soda, because they are so delicious. Like, you can't just be eating that way all of the time. Your every meal can't be bag of chips, candy bar, dirty soda. That has to be like once a week maximum. And that just doesn't really seem to be what's going on with my girl there. The other thing is that Rosie is in terrible pain most days, if not every day. Rosie describes having nerve pain unrelated to her diabetes. Press X to doubt. While it's possible that Rosie's nerve pain is not directly caused by her type 2 diabetes, her diabetes and her weight cannot be helping her. I don't feel personally that it's very likely that the diabetes is not the cause of her pain, because untreated or poorly treated diabetes is notorious for causing nerve pain. Typically, pain from diabetic neuropathy is more commonly associated with the feet and lower legs, but it can impact the hands, which is what she seems to say most bothers her. Regardless of her diabetes being the cause of this pain, I can say with full confidence that her weight is compounding her pain, even if I can't confidently say that it is the cause of it. Anyone who has been very overweight and then lost a significant amount of weight can tell you and will tell you that it is painful to be so big. When I was bigger, my knees, hips, back, and feet hurt every single day. They hurt every single day. And now only my hips hurt, and I know for a fact it's because I have a shitty mattress that doesn't cradle my pressure points. Also, I do stretching and stuff now, which really makes a big difference. Rosie also says that she does not believe her nerve pain is genetic, and it's like, okay, girl boss, your pain is not related to your diabetes. Your pain isn't related to your weight, and your pain isn't genetic. So what's causing it then? Because fibromyalgia, which is what she believes she has, is most likely caused by genetic predisposition per the Fibromyalgia Fund, and Rosie says that her mom struggles with chronic pain as well. Rosie likes to say that people assume that she's lying about her pain, and Rosie, if you're watching, and I have reason to suspect that you are because you seem to watch every damn thing that's put out about you, I will say, I know you're not lying. I know you're not lying. I know you are in pain, but I know what the most likely culprits of your pain are, and I know that you put out content that suggests that you do not do anything to address the most likely culprits of your pain. So, Another one that has really stuck out to me lately is a lesser known symptom of untreated or poorly treated type 2 diabetes is irritability. And I would say that Rosie has been exhibiting irritability very prominently lately. Diabetes that is going unmanaged or is not being adequately managed can cause mood swings because both spikes and dips in the blood glucose level can impact your mood. People get pretty irritable when their blood sugar is low. It's like kind of where being hangry comes from. And I'll quote Jason Kelsey because I think he put it best. If I don't eat breakfast, I'm fucking pissed. So imagine, if I don't eat breakfast, I'm fucking pissed. But then also compounded by the fact that your body really cannot on its own anymore kind of deal with and digest sugar the way it needs to, and you do ultimately need sugar to function. So it is like this horrible Ouroboros, but essentially a blood sugar dip can make people really hangry. It can make people irritable. It can make people sedated almost in a way. And then a spike in blood sugar. I mean, go to a children's birthday party. You'll see what a spike in blood sugar does to a person. Rosie has been extremely irritable in her recent streams. And it's not like she was a pocket full of sunshine before all of that, but she has really ramped up lately. She's arguing with her chat way, way, way more. She's visibly irritated with Remington the Ratatouille and with her brother.
Sweetie, I have a question. And you are. Feel free to say no. Are you up to chopping an onion for me? Cool. Then we're not doing onion today.
2 hours later.
Actually, I honestly think it's just the onion that's missing, and I really love onion. I think that's the problem. I put a little olive oil in. I think it's just the onion.
In my opinion, she's like really rude to her chat when they're asking her pretty innocuous stuff, or if they try and hold her feet to the fire, even the tiniest bit. I wouldn't even say holding her feet to the fire, more like letting her warm her feet up a safe distance away from the hearth. She is jumping up their ass and down their throat. Like,
He's not my caretaker, he's my boyfriend. That was so fucking disrespectful.
she's pissy. You know, Jason Kelsey said it best about any breakfast. I'm fucking pissed. Rosie also seems to be experiencing nausea a lot recently, in my opinion. I've been following Rosie since last September, October, maybe. Whenever Zachary Michael started going in on Rosie, that's when I started paying attention to Rosie. I can't recall in that span of time ever hearing Rosie mention being nauseous or being an easily nauseated person. In her more recent streams, though, she is seemingly becoming nauseated very easily.
Did it clean dog throw up? Oh, that sucks. I don't want to think about that. You're good. I'm sensitive to that stuff.
I'm not an easily nauseated person. Actually, that's not true. I'm pretty easily nauseated now that I think about it. So never mind. You know what? I think that gives what I'm saying even more weight. I'm a pretty easily nauseated person, and Rosie is becoming nauseated by things that I do not think are, like, really remarkable whatsoever. So, you know, I mean, that's just my 2 cents or whatever, but that's how I feel. She is bringing up her emetophobia a lot, and she's becoming irritated with the chat when they talk about things that are gross or nauseating to her. I truly had never heard the word emetophobia come out of her mouth until, I guess, somebody said her food looked like a booger.
I'm timing you out for that. I'm trying to eat, dude. That's gross. I don't know if you're a troll or not, but that's fucked up. Yeah, I'm done eating.
Oh. Oh. Mm. Mm. You okay?
I'm just suddenly really nauseous.
Mm.
I don't have much to say at the moment.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah, Swizzlist. Can we stop talking about it, please? Okay, that's good. My emetophobia is very real. I'm sorry, guys. I just need a minute. It just got triggered really bad. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put my food in the kitchen, and I need to get this away from me.
Okay. Yeah.
If I wasn't so sleep deprived, it wouldn't hit me that hard.
Yeah.
But that literally ruined my meal. I've never had that happen in a live before.
Like, she seems to me, again, I don't think I've ever heard the word emetophobia come out of her mouth until pretty recently. And I've been following her since last October. And gross stuff has definitely come up since, like, you know, in the months that I've been paying attention. So it just seems to me like she has very suddenly caught some very severe emetophobia. She did even go so far as to end a stream because someone in the chat said something that grossed her out. 2 people mentioned puking, and that's like a known trigger for people with emetophobia because emetophobia is like a fear and strong revulsion to the idea of vomit or vomiting. Rosie got pissed off, said she was eating, and then she rage quit the stream.
Can we avoid those words, Amanda? Peace and fucking love, bro. Ah. I'm eating, guys. Yeah, guys. I see what happened now. You're straight up getting a 5-minute mute for that. I want to make it very clear. I have emetophobia. I don't like that conversation being talked about. I don't want to talk. I don't want that in my chat. I just think it's rude. I see you weren't I thought you were the source, Amanda. You weren't. But like, that's just. Okay, yeah. Actually, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Y'all have a great night. Thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm nauseous.
So we kind of have a 1-2 punch there with that specific clip of increased nausea, again, based off of my own perception, not any sort of empirical data, and increased irritability. So, I mean, like, basically this is just my opinions on, like, Rosie's goings on as of late, but also, like, it's just me sort of shouting into the void, like, I think this is really concerning, and I'm, like, worried about this person. I think she is genuinely suffering from unmanaged type 2 diabetes, which is a really painful and uncomfortable condition to have with no treatment or no management. I do understand that she has been open about the fact that she has type 2 diabetes. I'm not like saying that I'm a genius and that I figured it out. I'm saying that I believe that she is suffering. Not that I believe that she is suffering from this particular thing. I believe that she is suffering as a result of this particular thing. I think that it's very clear that this is someone who is like straight up having a bad time right now. The thing that's interesting and confusing and frustrating about watching her is that she doesn't seem to be especially interested in treatment or management of her diabetes, which is her business, it's her body. But it's still alarming to see somebody decline on live like that. Rosie is about the same age as Amber. I think Amber is 36 and Rosie's 35. Rosie has been really big for longer than Amber has. Amber Lynn started her channel at like 300 and something pounds in her early 20s. And Roz says she graduated high school already weighing 500 or so pounds. That's really big. At 18, that's really, really, really big. That's really big at any age. And she says she's 500 or so pounds currently, and you know, in the most polite way possible, I think that that's perhaps not completely accurate. I think she might be understating or underestimating. So anyways, I do think Rosie is declining, period, and I think she's declining kind of quickly, it seems. I personally think she looks like she has gotten bigger in the last 6 months or so, and I just see a lot of quirks, pun intended, and behaviors that I think are indicators of overall very poor health. If QuirkyLoveRosee were a personal friend of mine, I would be begging her to try and get help for her very obvious issues with food and her mental health challenges. But I think the reason that QuirkyLoveRosee doesn't seem to have many personal friends is because she seems to be the kind of person where if you hold her accountable, if you express actual concern for her and her well-being, she gets angry. She said so herself that her first argument with her boyfriend was about weight loss because she isn't ready to have those conversations yet. But time is marching on whether you're ready to talk about something or not. Even the healthiest person with the healthiest diet has plaque building in their arteries as they age. Even a healthy person with a healthy diet and healthy body is experiencing degradation of their joints, their bones, and reductions in their organ function. This is all part of aging, and it's okay. It happens to everyone, regardless of health status. But it does happen to obese people much faster. And Roz is not a healthy person. She says so herself. She is disabled. Well, being disabled isn't carte blanche to disregard your physical health. In fact, being disabled means that you have to put more effort into your health than an abled person. Your body does not care that you are disabled. Your body doesn't care that you are having emotional problems. Your body is not a thinking, sentient thing. It's a shell that you wear and that you have to take care of. Your body is the house that your brain, soul, and personality live in. It is indifferent to you, the same way that any force of nature is indifferent to you. You have to take care of it and maintain it the same way you do a house. If you don't, it will stop functioning the way you want it to or expect it to. For it to take care of you, you must take care of it. If you don't take good care of your house, the foundation will start to crumble, and there will be cracks in the wall, and things won't work right, and your toilet won't flush, and the water is gonna come out of your sink, and it's gonna be brown, and all that stuff. Your body is the same way. You have to take good care of your body, or you're gonna start having all these little cracks in your walls that get bigger and bigger and bigger over time. For your body to take care of you, you must take care of it. If you don't, it will stop working. It will not care that you are young. It will not care that you haven't seen the things you wanted to see or done the things you wanted to do. Only you care about these things. And so it's really the ultimate act of self-love to take good care of your body and to enable yourself to live the life you want. It's sad and honestly perplexing to me that Rosie can't understand that she needs to pour love into her body when she talks so much about being kind to herself and loving herself. But the best thing that she could do, the way that she could love herself the best and the most thoroughly, would be to take good care of herself, or at the very least to take better care of herself. And she's really not interested in doing that from what we can see based on what she posts online. And I think that's really unfortunate. So there you have it. There are all of my onions. I've peeled them all for you. And now I'm going to go put stuff in them like that lady on TikTok. Do y'all watch that lady on TikTok who just puts shit into onions and then eats them? I get IBS flare-ups. I'll just overshare with y'all a little bit. I get IBS flare-ups if I eat like raw, especially raw, but like really too much of any form or fashion of onion. So like I'm never going to try that. But there it is. I see the appeal, honestly, of just going to town on an onion like that. Yeah. Anyways, those are all of my opinions about Rosie and just the things that I've been noticing lately as she has really ramped up her content because her boyfriend has been visiting. Also, I think it's a little crazy that her boyfriend has been visiting and instead of like enjoying their time together, she has really ramped up their content. Like, girl, log off, go snuggle and stuff like that. The idea that he comes to visit and Rosie's like, oh, let me clock into the arguing with the chat factory, very odd to me. And so that's just really everything. There's been a big whoosh of content lately from her, and I've been watching it, and a lot has stuck out to me as being worth remarking on. So if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching to this point. My intro and outro little music stinger were made by one of the most talented people I know. You can find his information in the description. My channel art and my icon were made by my very, very talented friend Brandon Opterix, and you can find their information in the description as well. And that's really it. Have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.